Hi, I'm Carrie. Welcome to my channel. It's another monthly wrap-up. We are going to talk about all things September, all the things I've been up to, all the plethora of decks that I used throughout this month, some goodies that I've got in, a new candle that I decorated, and my journal. As you can see, my journal is open. First, I want to say welcome to all the new subscribers that have come over since the announcement over on Rochelle's channel. Starting tomorrow, I have a little mini announcement here on my channel. I already talked about it briefly in my community tab here, that I'm doing a mini series in the month of October. I am focusing on ancestor communication, and really this is surrounding spirit communication. I've got 4 videos planned for it. One is a premiere coming out next Sunday, October 6th. So be sure to join me for that very first video in the series. Then I have a video on tools, a video on spreads, and I created a whole ritual that you can do, or you can turn it into a spread. But that'll all be explained tomorrow, I believe, on here, of what is coming up for that ritual. I hope you join me. I am going to tell you, I made this mini series very, very, very beginner friendly. So whether you are just starting to want to explore ancestor work or spirit communication, because for me, it is all one and the same entity. I've done mediumship readings for 20 years. In the video, I said 14. I've done professional, been paid for it for 14 plus years. I've been giving mediumship readings for 20 some years. Started seeing spirits at age 10ish, and then they started whispering and talking to me at like age 16. So I've done it for a while, but I tried to make this as beginner friendly as possible. I referenced some things out of Claire Goodchild's ancestor book and talk about different ancestors that you can work with. It doesn't have to be your blood ancestors, so keep that in mind. And the different tools, decks, pendulums, whatever, and I created spreads around it. So I really do hope that you join me. Some of the things that I do reference in these videos will be a repeat from my Spirit Talk videos. I have a whole series on here called Spirit Talk. You can check out that playlist. And I talk about spirit communication in those videos also. So I hope you stick around and come along with the ride for me. Come along with the ride for me. Come along on the ride with me in the month of October. So let's talk about my pretty journal, because I had a blast creating my journal this month. I am obsessed with the stencils from, let me get her name correct, it's Megan Quinlan Studios, I believe is the name of the Etsy shop. But Megan Quinlan, I follow her, I get her newsletter, I follow her on Instagram, not Etsy. Follow her on Instagram. I absolutely love her stencils. I have a fall set coming to me as I'm filming this, so I can do my October pages. And this is one of the sets that I have, and don't ask me the name because they've all been separated out of their packages and mixed together. But I know the fox is in it, and the raccoon, and I don't know, I think there's something else, but I love them. So anyway, I decorated my pages with her stencils and freehanded some stuff, and I love the way my September pages turned out. So I felt like in September that my energy was just like scattered to the wind. I just felt like there were pieces of me all over the place. And I think I talked about in my August wrap up that feeling of that fire, or having that fire energy or something like that around me. I don't know, maybe I did. this month has been a blur, so I feel like I'm mixing things up of where I've said certain things, but just bear with me. Anyway, there was a whole bunch of fire energy around me in the month of August, and it was really knocking me for a loop and kind of creating a little bit of chaos and everything in my life. So I felt like my energy was scattered out everywhere. And I actually did a reading, and I will show the decks here using the Kali Oracle. This is the mini. I also have the large edition and the Bonfire tarot. Oh my gosh, did these two decks just pair beautifully with one another. And in case you didn't know, for the Kali Oracle, this is put out by, I think this is Llewellyn. I'm pretty sure that's where I got this. And the Bonfire, this is the second edition, I got off of Amazon. It was under $20. So, but anyway, for the mini edition, the write-up is on the back. The large edition has a very extensive guidebook with it. Like I said, I have both of them. But I did a reading just to try to figure out where my energy was, what was going on, why I was feeling so chaotic and so scattered. And these two decks were absolutely perfect to help me rein everything in, figure out what was going on. And I loved the pairing so much. I will probably use it quite often in the future together, because I just think that the messages were so cohesive between these two decks. And it was exactly what I needed to hear. So this is definitely going to be a pairing of mine, like I said, for future readings. So speaking of that fire energy and my energy being scattered everywhere, I decided to call back my power. I don't know if you've ever done that before. I kind of made a little mini ritual out of it, using certain herbs and cards and candles and that sort of thing. And I called back my power to me from everywhere that I felt that it was scattered out. And then I kind of wrote that here in the beginning of my my journal. It was exactly what I needed to do, and I followed my intuition when it came about doing this also. And it's very easy to call your power back. You're just basically calling all those pieces that are out there, that are lost, that are trapped, that are taken without your permission, and so on. I'm sure you can zoom in and kind of read what I wrote here, and you reestablish your boundaries and pull all those pieces, you know, kind of back into you. I did a huge amount of cleansing when I also did this, and I did the ritual, a lot of smoke cleansing I did around that whole entire process and everything. So after I did this in the beginning of September, it changed the energy completely for me, and I felt more in control. I felt like I had more of a drive to get organized, to get things done, and to get the things taken care of that needed taken care of. So that was a really good thing, like I said, that I did. I have not tracked my card of the year in, I think, for the past like couple months. I just like maybe jotted down a sentence here or there. I tried to do something different this month, and I just kind of wrote what the card was, and then I wrote aspects, like just one word that goes along with the death card, and then the breakdown of fours. So control or lead, that would be your Emperor. The dissatisfaction, that would be the Four of Cups. Security would be the Four of Pentacles. Rest is the Four of Swords. Foundation is the Four of Wands. Or celebration, one of the two. And then the universal energy. And then I kind of just like made the circles and marked in what I felt was affecting me most at the moment, whenever throughout the month. And that's all I did with it. And I was okay with this page. And I didn't really worry about, you know, having to do a whole big write-up about it or anything. I had drawn her from one of the stencils and had planned to write things in, which I'm going to do after I'm done filming this video. I still tracked my omen days. This is an envelope that my bills come in. And I just tore it off and glued it in here. And then I wrote my omens on little tiny scrap pieces of paper. And then that way I could tuck it in here. This is another stencil from Megan's shop. And I have my omen written on the back of here. And then I just wrote a few little things here about my omens, some just key words. And then, like I said, I have the rest of it wrote on these little tiny pieces of paper that I have tucked in here. And I absolutely love this. I'm going to do this again for October. And then that way I can show my journal. For this page, it started out, I used one of the stencils and drew this little lady here. I don't believe she has a face. I think I just drew her face on there. But after I drew her and I did the outline, with this marker, I just heard the word flow. So I was leaving all that fiery energy and I just felt that I needed to step into the flow of what was going on around me instead of fighting against it so much. And one of the things I heard was trust messages from spirit, intuition, signs, synchronicity. So I made sure I wrote that at the top of this page. And then this is kind of what this is all about. I wrote about you know, collabing with the universe and work smarter, be a leader, embrace the emperor energy. And it's so funny. I forgot that I had wrote in here, embrace the emperor energy at the very beginning of the month. And I did a reading for a client literally almost at the very end of the month. And I said the same exact words to her. She needs to embrace that emperor energy. And I was like, oh, okay. So this message is for me also. Kind of thing. And I decided to dig out, let me see where I put it, Making Magic. It's all dusty because it sits out on my sacred space all the time. My Making Magic cards. These are just little sigil cards. I'm sure you've seen them before. I do not have the big one. I just picked up this little one when I started collecting all these little style decks, and this is just the perfect size for me, so I've never thought about picking up the big one. And like I said, this way it's nice and small and compact, and I can just leave it out on my sacred space when I want to. But so I decided, whenever I felt this, you know, trust messages from spirit, your intuition, etc., and I thought I'm going to go ahead and see what sigil comes out for me. Shuffled it up, and wouldn't you know, it's insight. Open the third eye, strengthen intuition. And like I said, everything just started falling in sync with one another. So I made sure that I drew this little symbol in here also. And also at the beginning of the month, I decided to really put full-blown energy into a specific intention that I wanted manifested in a short period of time. So I did a little working around that and put forward this intention, and it came back to me in record time. And if you see what I wrote here on the 10th of September, be careful what you wish for, you just might get it. And then I put a star next to, I need to be more clear about the intentions that I am setting. And everything I asked for came to me, but it came to me in a very chaotic, in pieces kind of way. And I needed to do a whole lot of extra work to stick it all together and bring everything into fruition, basically. So that be careful what you wish for really played a big part. But in the same vein, it also reminded me that I need to start stepping back into that setting intentions, manifestation work, and that I need to step into working that magic a little bit more. When I wrote this about needing to be more clear about my intentions, I decided to get out my Obsidian Veil Shadow Oracle by, I don't know, is this Ethereal, I think is how you say the name of this. This deck is gorgeous, 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 but that's exactly what it is. It's, it really talks about shadow, and it's very long. It's longer than a standard tarot, but it's skinnier than a standard tarot also. But man, do I love the images on here. And I used one of the images from here for a candle that I'm going to show here in a little bit. But when I put this notation, need to be more clear about my intentions, I decided to pull a shadow that I felt was lingering around the intention that I set, that energy that I had put out there. And it was the succubus card came out. And in the bottom it says, in the pursuit of gratification, one may risk losing oneself into darkness. And I think I looked in the guidebook just very briefly, and the two words that stood out to me were honor boundaries. And this made so much sense for what the intention was that I put out there. And like I said, it all came at me, but I needed to have a boundary in place in regards to it also. So I really liked that practice. I loved doing the intention work. I liked pulling the sigil card and just, you know, listening to my own intuition and everything, and then pulling the shadow around that to see if this just really worked together. And this is, even though there's not much on this page speaks so much to me, and it feels so magical to me that I really did enjoy this immensely. So a couple other readings that I did was Magick in the Mundane, and I got this spread from Cedar Moon Witch off of Instagram, and it's a beautiful 4-card spread. And I used my Cozy Witch Tarot for that. And then I did a Mabon reading also using the Cozy Witch along with the Mabon Oracle. So let's talk about these decks. So the Seasons of the Witch Mabon Oracle by Lorraine Anderson and Juliet Diaz. Everybody knows about these decks. They know that this is a series and so on. And I have them all except the last one that needs to come out. I'm pretty sure I have them all. I'm not sure how I feel. I like them, but I use them very sparingly, honestly, just for a few little readings here and there. The Cozy Witch Tarot by Amanda Lovelace. I am currently obsessed with this deck, and I mean obsessed with it. I don't even want to put it away, but I want to get out my spooky decks, and I want to use those because we're headed into October, and I really want to play around with them. But I am seriously obsessed with this Cozy Witch Tarot, and I keep calling it the Comfy Cozy Witch, but that's not what it's called. I have loved the readings that I've gotten from this. If you saw my Mind, Body, Spirit reading, this is the deck I used for it. And it's just exactly the energy that I needed in the month of September. It was exactly the messages that I needed in the month of September. I don't care what the age of these witches are on this deck. This deck is everything to me, and it has been my comfy sidekick, I guess, for the entire month. I didn't even record all my readings that I did with it. Every time I turned around and I wanted to know something or wanted to do a reading about something, this was the deck that I went to. I constantly, well, until I show you some of the other ones I got from Amazon, but anything that was a bigger thing where I wanted to dive into a tarot energy, this was the deck that I pulled out. And I just absolutely, I could sit here and just gush about it over and over and over again because it has been my go-to all month long. Another deck I've been completely obsessed over in September is this What's the Tea deck. This, I don't even know if it says who this is by. Manufacturer is Sishui, maybe is how you say the name. This is 80 cards. This is one of those really inexpensive decks on Amazon, and I'm going to show others that are in the same light as this. And I kind of went on a mini splurge of buying a few of these, and I'm really glad I did because I had a ball using them. So this What's the Tea? Need to know what's going on? Then let's get the tea on your situation. I had so much fun with this. I used this with my husband. I used this with my son. I used this with my girlfriend. I used this for myself. This is a little sassy, snarky deck out of all the ones that I got, but I really like it. How the whole thing came about of me even purchasing this deck and the Place Oracle and the Character Oracle was because I was looking into those the crime decks or whatever they were on Etsy, and they are a little on the pricey side. And I thought, I don't know, I'm not going to use the deck enough in order to justify what the cost of it was. And then I remembered that this was months ago. This probably goes all the way back to spring. I saw someone talking about the Place Oracle on their channel. I don't remember who's at this point, but I remembered it, and when I searched it up on Amazon, all these other decks also appeared in the list, and I bought a few of them. And it was quite insightful. Very, very, very insightful. So it is now currently sitting out. It is currently sitting out, and I grab it every now and then. Oh, what's the tea on? And just see, what comes up. But there's 80 cards here. So this is a pretty hefty deck, and it was only $16.99, which I think is on the inexpensive side as far as decks go. That's the only thing. The box, there's no thumb holes to get the lid off. So once the cards are out, it's kind of hard to get the box lid off. But anyway, these decks are like, I think $16.99, $13.99, something like that on Amazon. Most of them have some sort of coupon with them that you can clip when you purchase them. So I got them for less than that. Another one of those decks that I picked up from Amazon is this one, Career and Life Oracle deck. This is another one that was a favorite of mine in the month of September, and that I used quite often to just get advice on in regards to some creative projects that I was planning on doing, business type reading, I guess you could say, that I wanted a little bit of insight into and different things like that. This cardstock is more, it's not glossy like the other one. It's more matte, but it has, this is really glossy and really slippery. These have flown all over the place before. This one is more matte, but it's really soft. It kind of sticks together when it shuffles a little bit. I don't know if it's necessarily the rose petal finish. I'm not good describing what the finish is on the deck. I just know that it's a matte type finish. So I really enjoyed this one too. There's no guidebook for any of these decks. The keywords are on there, and that's all there is. And then you take your intuition and go with it from there, and adapt it to what the reading is, basically. I'm glad I picked this one up too. And I think I got this one for $13.99. I want to say there was a $3 coupon for this deck. And this manufacturer is Cosmic Lights. And yes, the box came like this, but then I dropped it and dented the side. And there are 80 cards in this too. So that's a lot of cards for each one of these decks. That was only $16.99. And if you wait for them to go on sale or whatever, I'm sure you can get them even cheaper than that. The other decks that I got from Amazon are the ones I just mentioned, and that is the Character Oracle, and these are glossy and sticky, and the Place Oracle. There's the backs of those. The character has the big eye. And this is the boxes of each of those. This doesn't have a thing on it. This says 2023. Is this Trickendo, something like that. There's 78 cards in each one of these decks. And there is just the write-up on the card. There is no guidebook or anything that goes with this. And I'm going to tell you how I used these two decks in case you're thinking, well, what are you going to do with these? So the Character Oracle, you could basically use as almost an archetype deck. Pull a character from it and look into the archetype and how that's fitting into your life and that. You could use the Place Oracle for the same type of thing, where you are looking into, maybe this can show you where you're stuck or something along those lines, and look into what that has to teach you. That's definite things that you can do with this. I enjoy these two decks. I use them quite a bit. I did several readings for clients with both of these decks together in my email readings that I offer. In case you didn't know, I have email packages that you can buy so many months worth of readings from me, and you get a personalized email reading every month and access to my private group. They work beautifully together, and how I use them I thought was pretty spot on. For the email readings, what I would do is I pulled a place card and a character card. This was the energy of where they were currently stuck in, or what was coming up for them in the month of September. And then the character card was going to either facilitate that energy, help that energy along, or it may even be a block to that energy, depending on the tarot cards that came out around it. And I used the Waite tarot, and I'm going to say something about this tarot. When I did my deck face-off with the Waite against the other decks that I paired it with, I was really harsh about the Waite tarot. I still won't use the Waite tarot to read for myself. However, this deck has become such a solid reader for clients. It is so easy to read intuitively. It is so easy to bring the messages through that I'm seeing in the mixture of cards on the table, and is actually a favorite of mine to pull out and use in client readings. I find myself reaching for this Waite deck quite often. And like I said, I was a little bit critical of it in that one video. And even though I won't read with it for myself, it's a great tarot deck to read with for others. And it shouldn't mean anything because I don't use it for myself to read, because I have plenty of decks that I use just for clients and not for me. So how I use these cards in my email readings was the Oracle of Place. This is like the energy that was coming up for September. It could be a place that you were stuck, something you're moving into, something along those lines. This facilitated it. So I've got the Seven of Swords in the Tower next to the elevator. The elevator is either going up or it's going down. So I had to look to the cards to see which direction we were going. So we've got the Seven of Swords and we've got the Tower. So you basically have the choice to get on the elevator and to go down into this type of energy where, you know, people are taking advantage of you and you're letting them bring chaos into your life, or you could get into the elevator and go up and rise above that energy. So what do we have here to help you navigate this elevator energy? And it's the educator, mentor, guide, teacher. So that's exactly what he is bringing forward. He's letting you know that you do not have to sink to the level of the person that is causing the chaos, that is taking things and that sort of thing from you with that elevator energy. You can instead learn from it, chalk it up as a mistake, and embrace the positivity of the situation and walk away from it with compassion. Understand that maybe that's just the type of person or the situation that they like to be in, and you can walk away from it with compassion, that sort of thing. So that's the readings that I gave with these decks right here together. The place, the character, and then the Night Waite deck that they got in their email readings. And I really, really, really enjoyed the way that that worked together. And I liked using these cards in that way. The other deck that I paired with it is the Quantum Oracle by Sandra Ann Taylor. Look, I didn't even read this. I didn't read the guidebook. I wanted to test this deck out and see if I could just pull it out of the box and use it as it was without diving into the guidebook and learning about the suits and learning about, I just wanted to use it. I just wanted to test the waters with it and use it. And how I used it actually was as the lesson to the other oracle, the character oracle that I was using for the entire month. And this was what I used for guidance in my private group. And I do want to read the guidebook on this, and I want to learn about these suits and what her plans and that were with it. But for me, for the month of September, I just wanted to use it. Have you ever gotten one of those decks in that you didn't want to go into the whole depth of the whole thing? You just wanted to pull it out and use it to see if it was usable, basically. So that's what I did. And what I did with that was guidance for the day came from the chef card. This is one of the readings that I had done throughout the month. So the guidance from the day came from the chef card: culinary maestro, cooking, culinary artistry, seasoning, proficiency. But what I get with the chef is they are mixing ingredients together. They are stirring things up. They are creating something like the magician. They are adding certain things, taking certain things away to make something better. So that was the energy that you needed to embrace for the day. And the lesson came from the Quantum Oracle. And the lesson was the status quo. And all I did was take it for face value, not from the guidebook or anything like that. And so the lesson to the chef was status quo. And it was basically questioning the chef and his ingredients. Is what you're stirring together really giving you new results? Is it yielding the recipe that you want it to yield? Is there something that needs changed within there in order to create something differently? And wouldn't you know, it was the Death card and the Tower that came out as additional messages to the chef and the status quo. And so this was basically the recipe that you were using, the ingredients that you were using are not working anymore. This has got to change. You've got to try something different, mix it up so you can get a different result, because everything that you're stirring together to try to create in your life is just creating the same thing over and over and over again. So I really enjoyed how these 3 decks work together, and it was the same thing that I did throughout the month. Was I pulled a character card, then a lesson card, and then additional information to our lesson. And you can take any decks that you already own and do the same type of concept with that. So I really enjoyed the way that came out. I'm hoping that everyone in the group enjoyed it also. So I think I just have a few more things to show you, and then we will wrap this video up. I decided to start working with the goddess Hecate, and this is my dark goddess journal. I created this journal not actually for dark goddess work. Sometimes I just randomly make up journals and keep them in like a little basket. And this is one that I made up several years ago. And I started using it for my work when I was doing connecting to the Morrigan, which I won't show you that, but that's like this whole beginning section here. When I was working with her and I was writing things down about her, connecting with her, and symbols and signs and that sort of thing. So I have it here in this journal. And then I kept being called, and then the pages are kind of like this. They're just something different on every page. And then I think I can go to here. I just kept feeling called to work with Hecate. And so if you've been here, you know that I've made some other goddess candles. So I decided to make one to begin my work with her. I haven't even burned this one yet, which is why I'm showing it. This is actually from the Obsidian Veil Oracle deck that I just showed at the beginning of the video. And this is the Hecate card on there. It is absolutely gorgeous. I photocopied it in black and white, and then I just went back and added some marker detail to it. A couple of little pieces of washi tape. It says, Hecate, I am the guardian of the crossroads, the mistress of the magic, and the keeper of secrets. So I had a key in my collection and I added that on there, and then I made this little charm thing here and attached it also to represent certain things for her. And I have it on this candle, and this is what I will be using in my practice with her. And I'm going to use the Witch Sisters Tarot with her. And I intuitively pulled out that deck to, I don't want to say an initiation reading with her that I'm not going to show, but every card that came out, I'll just show more pieces of my journal here. Every card that came out in that reading had a symbol that relates to her on the card. It was freakishly accurate, and it was interesting the way that the whole thing played out. So we're going to explore this energy with her for a while and see how it goes. And yeah. So that is that. But the last things that I want to show you are the goodies that I won. I won my second giveaway this year. Can you believe it? I can't. I'm going to tell you what, I can't believe it, because when I won my first one from Amethyst Ascensions channel, I won the Aphrodite Tarot and the Oracle. That's the first time I've ever won anything, I think, in my life, was that deck. Or those decks. And that was back in July. Was that July? Maybe June? I don't know, somewhere in there that I won those two decks. And then Robin at Robin's Reflections, she had another giveaway on her channel, and I won all these goodies too. And they just came, and I'm so excited. It's been so busy this month. I really haven't had a chance to dive into any of them. I was really excited about this Alice in Wonderland Oracle. This is the one by Paulo Barbieri. I don't have any of the Barbieri decks. I know there's the unicorn and the dragon one, but this is the one I'm really excited into looking into and playing with and exploring and learning about. But I don't know if I'll be using it at this point in time. I'm probably going to wait until a little bit later because, like I said, it's spooky season and that's where I want to be. I want to be engrossed in those types of decks. I'm trying to keep this in order here, but I really do love the imagery of this and I can't wait to explore the guidebook on it. So I was really excited to win this. And then I also won, there are three Drea Bloom books and then one MJ Cullinane book. This is the Tarot for Transformation 2, The Pentacles, A Journey of Healing and Self-Growth through the Minor Arcana. And I don't have any of these little books. I have the other book under their other name that is like escaping me right now. Oh, I think it's called Tarot for Transformation also. It's the big, thick, goldish brown book. Oh my gosh. I can't think of it right now. But anyway, I want to look through this and see how this is going to fit into my practice. I thought this was interesting. Then we have Navigating Your Saturn Return by her also, or by them also. I don't know what their pronouns are, but this is another journal type book that I want to look through to see what kind of information I can get from it. And then we have the Tarot Spreads Journal, written and illustrated by MJ Cullinane. This book is huge. I mean, it is... Robin covered up the spiders. Oh, that's funny. But this book is huge. I want to go through and see what kind of spreads that I want to keep out of here. I don't do too many spreads that often, and I have some other spread books. So this might be one that I consider passing on to a fellow tarot enthusiast. And then finally, we have Doodling the Tarot. And this is the one I thought was really interesting that I wanted to play with because there's the whole side here where you can, you know, draw your own or write about or anything, your own, the tarot card. And I thought about maybe doing a collage in here for the tarot card, the corresponding tarot card. I don't know. That was my thoughts. So we're going to see how this comes into play for me in the coming year, because I don't have time to get to any of this right now. So I'm going to see if I can play around with this in the new year. But this is a load of goodies that I won. I am so grateful. So thank you so much to Robin for that fantastic giveaway that she did on her channel. And so be sure to go and check out her channel. And I love her walkthroughs. And she just did that Beetlejuice tag that was really fun to do. So be sure to check out that and play along in that also. My table is a disaster, and I'm looking around very quickly, and I think I have talked about everything that I was up to in the month of September. And don't forget, if you stuck with me this long, if you've stuck with me this long about the ancestor communication. Remember, we are focusing around learning to communicate with our ancestors in the month of October. So please come back and check out that mini series. And if you made it this far, put a skull and crossbones or something in the comments below so I know you were here through the whole entire thing. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate you being here. You know, the thumbs up and subscribe. I would love to have you here on my channel. And until I see you next time, which I think is tomorrow's video, bye.